Hey, Motorman here, and today we're going to talk about the state of the motorcycle industry as it stands right now. It's not looking good for both motorcycle sales, new and used, and it's not just Harley Davidson, but really all motorcycles. So we'll take a little ride. I do my best thinking when I'm riding, and we'll talk about it. Plus, I'm going to give you a tip at the end, so stay tuned.
All right, so here's what's going on. And I just spoke with the general sales manager at Harley Davidson dealership just 20-30 minutes ago, and he told me that the last auction this past beginning of this month, used motorcycle prices were down by 12%. The month before they were down by 5%. And it doesn't look like it's going to get any better. There right now is an overabundance of used motorcycles, Harley Davidson and just about any make. There's an overabundance of them on the market, so the prices keep coming down. Now, that hasn't occurred yet with the car market, but keep in mind that people don't need a motorcycle. It's a toy, it's a luxury item. And he also said that now they've got plenty of stock of brand new Harley Davidson motorcycles. And so the shortage is just about over with. And he said the only bikes that are really selling well right now are the street glides and road glides. Oddly, that's some of the more expensive models that Harley Davidson makes. They're sitting with the street bobs, and they got a bunch of them. They got a real oversupply of 883s and Sportster 1200s. The new 975 Nightster that hasn't been selling very well. So what I'm getting at is it went from a seller's market, meaning the dealer was doing really good when he was selling motorcycles. Some dealers getting thousands over list on Harleys. Many metric dealers getting at least $1,000 over list on their bikes, plus dealer fees and all that stuff. And it's quickly changing to a buyer's market. So if you have the money and you're ready to buy a motorcycle, if it were me, I would wait right till about January. Now that's especially good time to buy a motorcycle up north because nobody's riding in January, and the dealer doesn't want to be sitting with a lot of inventory. And since the supply has certainly met the demand, prices are going to come down. So the days of getting $1,000 or $2,000 or whatever it may be, $10,000 over list for Harley Davidson motorcycle, they've just about come crashing down. And as the economy worsens, so will the sale of motorcycles. And from what he told me is the days back in, I think it was 2009, 2010, Harley dealers were actually discounting their motorcycles. And the motor company frowns on that, but they really have no control over it. They don't have any control over how much overlist the dealer charges or how much underlist, but they can do things like give you less motorcycles or send you less of the better selling motorcycles if they find out you've been selling well below MSRP. But that's the way the market is right now, and it's going to get worse for motorcycle dealers. All kinds of motorcycles, not just Harley Davidson. That includes the Indian and Honda and Yamaha, etc. So it's turning into a buyer's market. So buyer beware. You walk into a dealership, make them an offer they can't refuse. And as this dealer told me, he doesn't want anybody to walk out. They don't want to say no to anybody because they know that another dealer will say yes. You know, if you're being reasonable. Obviously, they can't lose money. But obviously, as well, they're not going to make thousands over list anymore. And I promise you a tip, and what made me think of this is an acquaintance of mine recently got into a minor motorcycle crash, and I was listening to the story. He said it was the ground was wet, it had just stopped raining, and the car in front of him had stopped short, And I was waiting for this, and he said, and I had no choice but to lay the bike down. Well, he crashed to avoid a crash. That makes absolutely no sense. What really happened was the ground was wet. He wasn't looking far enough ahead. He didn't notice the vehicle stopping short. He overbraked either the front brake, the rear brake, or both of them, and he went down on the ground. He got a little banged up, no broken bones, and the motorcycle got a little banged up as well. So the moral of the story is, please folks, practice your braking. It's about the easiest thing in the world to practice, because you could do it anywhere. You don't need markers, you don't need cones, you don't have to go to a parking lot. Just find a road like this, no traffic on it. You should know what it feels like to try to stop quickly from speeds, various speeds. And remember, you don't want to snatch or grab those brakes or stomp on that rear brake, because if you do that and you don't have ABS, most likely even on dry pavement, you're going to go down. If you know nothing else, you should know how to stop your motorcycle quickly. And here's a video about braking in the curve.